Hey guys, I'm just going to quickly show you around Singer Hall so you can have a look at what the rooms look like and what the kitchen looks like and probably the bathroom as well. There seems to be no sound on this video for some reason, so I have to record over. So these are the storage spaces. So there is quite a lot of storage, so it's not too bad. The heater is really tiny compared to Priory, so it's quite difficult to dry your towels. There's one hook behind the door. There's a chair by your bed, which I normally use to open the door. You've got a single bed. I bought some bedding from IKEA, but it doesn't seem to fit on the bed quite well, so you might get that problem as well. The walls are white. You get a lot of scratches along the edges. And just above the head there's like a windowsill which pokes your head all the time and it's annoying. The window has bars and it keeps hurting my arm when I try and open the window. You've got a bedside table. You've got a bookshelf that does not fit your folders in unless you put horizontally, but I like it standing, so I had to put down here in a box. My room is really messy because my boyfriend and I are ill and we left it all in my room. This chest of drawer thingy I moved over here so we could put things on top because it's usually down at the bottom over here. And we've got a long desk which is quite good, and a big bulletin board which is painted over as white. There's not too much space, but a lot of people do put their bed across like this so then they can face like a TV or something, so that's not too bad, and it gives you a bit more floor space if you do that. Now the wardrobe has some like grid sort of things which is kind of weird to put your clothes in, but I'm always thinking where'd you put underwear, but okay. The wardrobe is a lot smaller than Priory Hall, which I didn't like, and it was annoying, so I couldn't fit my clothes in there. And yeah, that's the room. It is quite quiet, but it is really noisy from the door. There's 3 girls on this side and 3 boys on the other side. So this is the girls' toilet because it's closest to us, but there's no bin, which is annoying. It doesn't make sense because guys don't really use bins. But then on the guys' one, there is a bathtub and a bin. Ah, never mind. And then there's the shower, which isn't too bad. The curtain gets changed every 2 weeks and the place does get really mouldy. And then the kitchen this is the cleanest you'll ever see a student accommodation kitchen, but you can see there's loads of rubbish on top of the cupboards. But at the moment there's only 2 people living here, and I clean the kitchen probably 2-3 times a week myself because I don't like a dirty kitchen. But one guy is really disgusting and dirty. Someone left the gas on because they're a retard. Trying to kill me, great. So these are the tables, they're separated, which I don't know why. This is the guy's cupboard, which is really dirty, and he attracts all the ants and stuff over, but I just gave up cleaning up because I don't even go to the kitchen anymore because it's disgusting. Or there are live bugs in the fridge, ants, and they're live as well. And then there's even dead ants with those little black dots. And I've complained several times, went to meetings at 9 AM, which is difficult to wake up, but they never do anything about it. It's so appalling. They never even find him. And in the end, we all get fined for a dirty kitchen. Not even our fault. Oh, it annoys me just talking about it. Look at his cupboard. All that sugar and ants just crawling around. And by the sink we get loads of silverfish, like silverwigs or whatever they're called, and they're disgusting as well. Hate touching it. I always have to call up the other guy to help me get rid of it. Or I just leave it on the side until a cleaner comes over and gets rid of it. Yeah, this is disgusting stuff. My kitchen space is actually really clean compared to my room. Even though I was ill. Because I was just drinking soup when I was ill. Yeah, I don't like living here. I'm going to move to my own house and keep my kitchen clean. Or tell my friends off if they don't keep it clean. There are ants on the floor. I don't know if you can see it, but there's loads of ants on the floor. And there's a jar of honey in the bin because it was attracting the ants as well. That Coke's been there for about a year, which no one gets rid of. And at the moment, there's no cleaning service. Great. That's the kitchen. I think that's it. Now I'm going to tell you about the pros and cons. I do quite like living here. It's normally quite quiet. The bathroom is basically between 3 people because the girls are on one side, the guys are on the other side. So it's normally clean. But you could be unlucky and live with one dirty, disgusting person. So that one disgusting person can make your kitchen disgusting. So yeah, that's what happened to me. And unfortunately, the people around Singapore don't really do much about making it clean again. Unless you make several complaints and you go to get a lawyer, and then they'll do something. But your rent is still the same because you signed the contract at the beginning. What else? You get lots of ants if you're on the ground floor, and no matter what floor you're on, you get lots of, they're called silverfish or fish moths. Basically, they look like centipedes with antennas, which kind of look like woodlice as well. And they go into your bowl, and then they get stuck, and I'm too scared to get out. So I have to wait around until one of the guys come over and get rid of it. But it's just, they're pretty disgusting. But you can look online on how to get rid of them. Once they get into something slippery, they don't know how to get back out. So I guess you can make traps, but I don't know, it's a bit gross. Like, my place isn't too bad with them. Whatever you do not choose the kitchen side because that's where all the bugs are and that's where all my stuff is. So one of my friends, she gets lots of silverfish coming out of a room sink, which is disgusting because it's in her room. My one's around the kitchen, which isn't as bad because I don't have to go see it. It could just stay there. But when it's here, it's like, ugh, I don't know what to do. And I do regret living here. It's so expensive. I would have preferred just living in a private house because I chose student accommodation because I wanted to make friends easier because you know everyone. But what's the point? I mean, you're going to get to know people when you're actually in your course anyway, which is probably better unless you want to know different people from different courses. But it's not hard making friends because if you sit in the hub, you make friends. You make friends in the Phoenix, which is like the pub, the student pub. You make friends everywhere, so I don't really see much. There wasn't really much point in me living here, to be honest. And I think I'll tell you about Priory Hall after. Priory Hall has 2 blocks. J block is really, really nice, I think, because they redid the whole entire room, and I stayed there, so I know how nice it is. But G block is just gross. That's why there's so much pricing. It's funny. But what I couldn't find online was the food, so I will just tell you about it. The portion of food is very little. You only get breakfast and dinner for Monday to Friday. Breakfast is always the same food, so that's always fry up, or you can choose cereal. Dinner is always oven food, which I can say is kind of gross, and I think it might depend on your culture and stuff, but my stomach is weaker, so it started making me ill over a while. That's why I moved away. And they sometimes do roast, not often, but they do roast, and that's the only nice meal. They do normally fish and chips on Fridays and stuff like that. You'll see on the day. They have certain times and are normally quite early, so breakfast is like 8 to 9, no, 8 to 10. Dinner's about 5 to 7, I think, something like that. It's really stupid early time, and by the time I have that, I'm just wanting a midnight snack. Not even midnight, I want like food at like 10. Now the rooms in Priory are nice. The toilets are a bit weird because it's basically, so you go into the toilet room and then you have 2 cubicles, but I don't understand why there's 2 cubicles, because you're going to go in and you're going to hear the other person, and plus it's going to be awkward. So I think they should have just made 1. I don't know if this is true, but I heard it used to be like a mental home. That's why the rooms are so close together, so it is super noisy, and usually all the time there's so much fire alarms and you just get woken up and you have to all get out. And I must say, they do, the place does get cleaned very often, to be honest, but it is so disgusting. I went to the shower, dropped my towel once on the floor, picked it back up, it went white to black, and I just could not get rid of it, so I just threw it away. The bathtub is also gross. You probably won't want to use that. But next to the bathtub is also where all the rubbish goes, so it just stinks along there. And I don't know, but you have to walk along the corridors to be able to get to your room, and on the way you might find some puke. You might even find some shit on the floor. And I'm not joking, but I mean actual people's shit. When they're drunk, they shit on the floor, they piss on the floor, they puke on the floor. And it could be right in front of your room if you're unlucky. Luckily, I was on the edge, so I was on the side, so there was no rooms near me, but you can hear everyone still, so I could still hear 3 rooms away, even though there was a corridor in between. But I quite liked it because it wasn't noisy, and I was right next to the shower, but it was always being used. There isn't like who can use what shower, so you can go upstairs or downstairs or whatever toilet, whatever shower you want to use. And what I noticed is everyone kept using our toilet because my corridor, we were all friendly, and we put toilet roll there for us lot to use. And what I noticed was other people from other corridors and upstairs and downstairs were coming up to our toilet to use, because obviously I have quite a lot of friends, and I remember asking and I'm complaining about it, and then my friend on like the 6th floor, I was on the 3rd floor, said, yeah, I went all the way downstairs and I found some tissue roll in this one toilet, whereas nowhere else had any, because they ran out. And I just thought, meh, you just have to keep your own stuff in your own room. Over here in Singer is better. No one really takes your stuff, because if anyone takes it, you'll know who it is. But that's only if you're friends with them, I guess. But some of my friends had bad experiences in Singer Hall. Didn't really know each other. But I was thinking, if you're gonna live with the same 6 people, it's not even that much people to know. So you might as well get to know them and not mess it all up. And can't really do much about who you live with other than move light. Yeah, so really your choice. So these are the only 2 I lived at. I have looked at other places as well, but I guess you have to look at that a bit better. But I must say, the other places that I looked at for student accommodation do look a lot better, but obviously prices are a lot higher.